We all have people who we look up to, people who have gotten to heights that we want to achieve. I mean, the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Kylie Jenner, Oprah Winfrey, and the rest. But have you ever actually thought the what made these people successful? What got them the wealth, their fame, and their positions? Now, right from a very young age, we've all been taught that if we put enough hard work, dedication, and grit to whatever we do, then we can succeed. You know the common sayings of hard work never kills, whatever you put your mind to, then you can achieve. But seriously, are these the only factors that contribute to our success? What if this top 1% have some unfair advantage that we do not know of? Hello everyone, I'm Adiola Praise. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be talking about success and unfair advantage. So basically, I'll just be giving some insights I got from a book I read earlier this month. And this book was written by two successful entrepreneurs, Ashali and Azan Kuba. And the book is titled The Unfair Advantage: How You Already Have What It Takes to Be Successful. Now, when it comes to success and wealth, there are two leading narratives or mindsets, and these two are meritocracy and fatalism. Now, meritocracy is the ideology that says rich people got their wealth through hard work and deserve whatsoever financial success or wealth that they've been able to acquire. Fatalism, on the other hand, is the ideology that says rich people got rich through random events and things like luck, timing, natural talent, or even fate. And this ideology believes that rich people don't earn whatsoever financial success that they have. But the real truth is actually between or at the middle of these two narratives. And these two narratives or mindsets have to be balanced before success of any kind can actually be achieved. But before I continue, let me give you a definition of what an unfair advantage is. An unfair advantage is a condition, asset, or circumstance that puts you in a favorable position. So your unfair advantage can be your skills, money, location, education, or anything that puts you at a leverage over others. Also, your set of unfair advantage is unique to you. Now, the truth is that you can't have all your unfair advantage in this world. For instance, your own set of unfair advantage can be education, skills, and personality, while someone else can have a set of unfair advantage that includes money, location, status, and network. That is why it's always advisable for you to partner up with someone whose set of unfair advantages balance out yours. The authors of this book are with the notion that life in itself is unfair. Hence, you should have it at the back of your mind that one person can have more unfair advantages than you. And that is to show that even unfair advantages are unfairly distributed. I came up with that one myself. But just because life is unfair, that doesn't make you to have this victim mindset and stop you from making your dreams into a reality. According to the authors of this book, they said, our aim is not for you to look at the world and despair, or to think that if there are unfair elements at work, then it is not worth trying. Instead, we want to equip you with the knowledge of the obstacles in your path and also the possible shortcuts that might be in front of you, which you may be unaware of. Another thing about unfair advantage is that they multiply. The more unfair advantage you have, the more you get. For instance, a book with a bestseller would attract more readers. An always busy restaurant will attract more customers, and a YouTube video with more views will get more views. Ash and Azan came up with a framework after studying and observing successful people. Now, this framework consists of 5 unfair advantage, and this framework is called the MICE framework. MICE stands for money, intelligence and insight, location and luck, education and expertise, and status. According to them, the MICE framework is built on the solid foundation of mindset, which you have the most control over. And they looked into the work of Dr. Carol Dweck, a professor of psychology at Stanford University. And in her work, she talked about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Now, those with the fixed mindset are those who believe that they are born naturally gifted at doing some things and are incapable of doing others. There are those who love to stick to one career path or one skill because they believe that they can never do well at other things. On the other hand, those with the growth mindset are those who believe that they can be bad at some things, but only because they have not spent enough time and dedication at being better at that thing. Now, as interesting as the growth mindset might seem, Azan and Ash still believe that there is a flaw with the growth mindset, and they came up with something that they actually called the reality growth mindset. Now, I really love what they did here. According to them, reality growth mindset is about having your foot rooted on the ground with your head in the clouds. Reality growth mindset is the balance between self awareness and self belief. It is the ability to accept the hard limits of the way things are and also believe that anything is possible. The truth is that luck exists. They are inherited money. Some people have better education than you, but you also have to accept that there are some things that are beyond your control. You can virtually achieve anything that you set your mind to, but as long as they are within the realms of possibility for you, based on your assets and strengths, which are your unfair advantages. Now, let's take another look at the MICE framework and look at examples of people who are these unfair advantages. The first one is money, and we all know that it takes money to make money. Let's take, for example, Evan Spiegel, the co-founder of Snapchat, who lived in a
social media.
multi-million
And I
dollar
think that's
household
why
and attended
traditional
expensive
social
private
media.
schools. He was exposed early enough to mentors who helped him on his path to success, and he had enough money and couldn't have bothered if his startup would have been a success or not. But money can be a two-edged sword in the sense that financial constraints can breed creativity, resourcefulness, and ingenuity. You know the saying that necessity is the mother of invention. On the other hand, having excessive amounts of money can lead to waste and lack of resourcefulness. The second unfair advantage that we can see on the MICE framework is intelligence and insight. Now, when it comes to intelligence and insight, we have the book smart and the street smart. An example of people who enjoyed the unfair advantage of intelligence is the Collison brothers. Patrick and John Collison are the founder of Stripe, which is an online payments processing startup. And through this company, they've been able to become billionaires. And they actually founded this company when Patrick was only 21 and John was actually 19 years old. Now, apart from their hard work, grit, and determination,
Really lucky
their
to
intelligence gave them some kind of
have parents
leverage.
like that.
Patrick, which is the elder brother, found his own programming language named Chroma at the age of 18 and later enrolled into MIT. John, on the other hand, got the highest score in his leaving certificate and even got enrolled into Harvard University before taking his final exams. So you can see that these brothers are actually intelligent and smart. Apart from being book smart, you can also be street smart, which largely involves people skills. The third unfair advantage on the MICE framework is location and luck. And one very popular person that admitted to the unfair advantage of location and luck is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett mentioned that he won the ovarian lottery by being born in the United States. Apart from his inborn talent of investment, his hard work, and his passion towards what he does, Warren Buffett admitted that the location and timing of his birth actually contributed to his success. Location and luck means being in the right place at the right time. When it comes to location, we also see a phenomenon called clustering, and this is just when companies run the same kind of business cluster together in a particular area. Example of this is the popularly known Silicon Valley, which is known for its big technology companies and startups. Coming back here in Nigeria, we also have places like Computer Village, which in Lagos, which are known for their expertise in phones and technologies. And the purpose of this is just knowledge spillover, because you know that if you get there, you can get mentors and experts in technology. And that's how location can be a very huge unfair advantage, because staying in places like this or staying in places that are related to the skills you want to learn would give you more exposure and more knowledge, and also have positive effects on your attitude, your ambitions, and your productivity. The fourth unfair advantage on the MICE framework is education and expertise. Now, education can be a huge unfair advantage to you. According to Ash and Azan, education gives you three things: knowledge, network, and signaling. Now, let's take the first one, knowledge. Education comes in two forms. We have the formal education and the informal education. The formal education is the type of education you get in the normal school settings with a laid out curriculum, while the informal education is the type of education you get outside school. And these days it's very easy to get an education. I mean, there are lots of online classes, tutorials, and even YouTube videos that can get you any kind of knowledge that you seek. Secondly, getting a good education gives you the network you need to push you up on the ladder of success. I mean, you can't see dollars and lower classes in schools like Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and the likes. So in these places, you see people that are driven towards success or that they have huge connections. Hence, getting a good education can get you the right partner or the right network that you need. Another thing education gives you is signaling. For instance, people would definitely respect you if you say you study at Harvard or you study at Cambridge. Now, I know most of you come up with an argument that these days, where you don't care wherever you got your knowledge from, be it Ivy League university or just a normal university, that so far you have the skills, so far you have the knowledge, and you meet the criteria, then you are good to go. But let's be sincere. You are most likely to click on a video with the title "A Day in Life of a Cambridge Student." You know what I mean. Last but not the least on the MICE framework is status. Now, status is a very huge unfair advantage because it commands attention. Your status is your perceived ability to add value. It is how others see you. And the interesting thing about success is that all the other pillars of the MICE framework actually helps to increase your status. Your status is your assets, is your connection, your money, your association, your network, your personality, and so on. Your status affects and is affected by virtually everything that you do. So after saying all this, I know some of you have questions like, are unfair advantages only for those who are rich and only for those who are successful? The answer is no. Like I said earlier, everyone has an unfair advantage. All you have to do is to discover them and start using them to your favor. Also, how can you know or discover your unfair advantages? The truth is that you have to start with gratitude. Look at all the things you've achieved and ask yourself, apart from hard work, grit, and perseverance, what are the other factors that have actually contributed to my success? It might be having a parent that can afford that online course that actually opened you up to opportunities. It might be having people who trust your abilities and encourage you all through the way. Or it might be having that uncle who is an top executive in your dream office. Anything can be your unfair advantage so far it gives you leverage over others. Now that you know what unfair advantages are, I advise you to find out what your own unfair advantages are and start leveraging upon them right now. Because the more unfair advantages you can stack up in life, and the earlier in life you develop them, the stronger they will be. Thanks for watching. I wish you all success in all of your endeavors. See you in the next video.